Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, I'm gonna test you by giving you a few challenges that you need to complete for the crop tool. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so your first challenge is to create a project with the dimensions of 1080 by 1080 pixels and then crop the dimensions to 1080 by 500 pixels. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to do that. 10 seconds is done. Did you do it? Great job if you did. And even if you didn't, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Over here, you can see I'm in a new project with the dimensions of 1080 by 1080 pixels. And you can see I also added an image of a cave. Now, we need to change the dimensions of this to 1080 by 500. So how do we do that? We're going to use the crop tool. So let's go to the side panel over here with all the tools and let's click on this crop tool over here. Okay. Now, what was the next step? We needed to change this to 1080 by 500. Now, before that, make sure you're using fixed ratio. You know this drop down over here? Select that and make sure you're using fixed ratio. Now, after that, change the width and the height over here to 1080 by 500. There we go. Now, if I click on this confirm over here, you can see it has been cropped. Before it was like a square. You know why? Because two values. If the two values, the width and the height are the same value, it will always be a square. Okay, now you can see it has been turned from a square to like a rectangle, right? That is so cool. If you did that, give yourself a pat on the back for that great work. It is really good, okay? Okay, so your second challenge is to create a project with the dimensions of 1920 by 1080 and then crop it to the dimensions of 1920 by 1920. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to do that. Okay, so 10 seconds is done. Did you do it? Great job if you did. And even if you didn't, I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Okay, so over here you can see I'm in a new project with the dimensions of 1920 by 1080. Now, what was the next step? Cropping it to 1920 by 1920. Now, let's do that. So, let's go to the side panel over here with all these tools and select the crop tool over here. Click and now make sure you're using fixed ratio. You can see fixed ratio over here. Make sure you're using that. And then change the width and height of it to what? 1920 by 1920. And now what is the last step? Click on this stick over here. Oh my god, you can see we have changed the resolution of it. Now it is a square. You know why? Because we put 1920 by 1920. I explained in the previous challenge that if two values, the width and the height are the same, then it will always turn out to be a square. Okay? Keep that in mind. Okay? It's really important. So, if you did this, give yourself a pat in the back for that amazing work. It is really good. Okay? Okay, so your third and final challenge is to create a new project with the dimensions of 1080 by 1920 pixels and then crop it to 1080 by 1080 pixels. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to do that. Did you do that? Great job if you did, and even if you didn't, I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So over here, I have created a new project with the dimensions of 1080 by 1920 pixels. Now, what was the next step? Cropping this to 1080 by 1080 pixels. To do that, let us go to the side panel over here, and over here you can see crop tool. Now click on the crop tool and you can see, make sure to select fixed ratio, okay? It is very important. Now change the width and height over here to what? 1080 by 1080. Now let's click on this tick mark icon over here. You can see now it has been cropped to 1080 by 1080, and you can see it's a square. You know why? I explained it in the last challenge. It is because we have put in two values, height and width, and they are the same. So that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in my next lesson.